Okay, so today we're going to talk a little bit about cyberpunk, and I'm not going to go into a great deal of different detail between the difference between classic cyberpunk and post-cyberpunk and new wave cyberpunk, which, yes, are all things, because there's a whole panel about that tomorrow. But instead, we're going to focus on what makes a cyberpunk cyberpunk and how can you create a cyberpunk story. So I think the Fargo CoreCon logo spells it out with the high-tech, low-life, although not all of you may have thought about what that actually means and why they do that. And it's because the high-tech part is the cyber in cyberpunk, at least classically. There's a lot of other kinds of high-tech that could also easily apply to cyberpunk. And the low-life part of it, comes from the punk part, which is about revolution against an oppressive upper class or an oppressive government. There is an oppressor, there is a lower class, there are folks who aren't getting it, and that's the punk part of it. So it's not just all super shiny, half robot people walking around. The revolution, the rebellion part is a pretty critical part of that, which some movies that classify themselves as cyberpunk kind of tend to forget. And they just go for the extremely distinctive, oh, I should actually run this thing so it's showing you a little bit more there. And they go for the very distinctive look of it. Yeah, fine, graphics card, whatever. There we go. Which you can see here, this is a selection of images from ArtStation, which you may or may not be familiar with. It's a site where artists put up their work for professional use to build their portfolios, things like that. It's also a great place to go if you want to get a super awesome looking desktop picture, because they've got really good artists. So if you just Google cyberpunk, you're gonna get up a lot of things that look like this. There's gonna be rain, it's gonna be dark, there's gonna be robot parts and slick streets and neon lights, and quite likely a lot of things written in Japanese. Because again, when the origins of cyberpunk, Japan was, and still is to a large extent, seen as the place where all the really cool, weird technology stuff happens. And not just cool and advanced, but weird, which is a pretty fun thing to play with too. So you see a lot of that. And again, it's a distinctive look in part because it comes from the noir background. Noir is a huge piece of cyberpunk because it's often framed around that kind of grim, cynical look at the world. Often there's a mystery of some sort, and there's a main character who either starts out cynical and ends up a little bit less cynical but more depressed, or starts out thinking everything is fine and ends up very grim and cynical by the end. Or starts out thinking that they are human and ends up realizing that they're actually an oppressed robot by the end, or cyborg, android. And it goes well with a lot of other different flavors of fiction as well. Romance, weird, horror, noir, mystery. So let's get started with making our world. And yes, I do hope you participate, so don't sit in the back, scoot up closer to the front, because I'm gonna be walking around with a mic. And while I'm fine walking around with a mic, it's a little bit easier. This should work, I have a plan. I want to see how well this works. So the first question is, what kind of world are you setting it in? And if you consider here, so that was not, oh, it's refreshing because we're doing that, never mind. Okay, we'll do it here, this is easier. So can you tell me some kinds of worlds, places that cyberpunk stories might be set? Have any of you seen Altered Carbon? Or The Expanse? Dense Metropolis, yep. But the very first question that we want to ask ourselves is it on Earth? Is it a space station? Sorry, that shouldn't have popped up there. Is it on Earth, or is it on a space station? Or is it on a colony? Not supposed to keep popping up there, but let's go. Or on a colony. So Any other possible places that you think it should be set? It does need to be in the future, at least. Does that pretty much cover the gamut of it? Any other ideas? How about a spaceship? That works too. What was that?
Yeah, the colony went away again.
Come back here. Colony.
Or going to specific environments on a planet such as underground or underwater.
Sure. Now, if we're all this small and close together, I don't know if we actually need the mic and walking around, but we can see. So, if I stay in one place?
Well, no, for using the mic.
No, I meant this mic for, okay. Well, that makes sense then, all right. So, we've got those environments. So, let's start out. So, raise your hands. Consider which of these options you think you want, and then raise your hand when you've decided on it. So, who thinks a colony? Should we do colony? One, okay. Space station? One. In Earth of some variety, okay. So we'll say we are definitely on Earth. Or what? Or a planet, yes. Well, that would be colony, yeah. Okay, so Earth environments. Let's see. Okay, is this also working? Yes? Is this going through the speakers? Can't hear it as well. Oh, there we go. That's a little bit better. All right, so what kind of environments could we have this set in if it's on Earth? Say it with the mic for the...
Underwater.
Underwater's a good one. Any other suggestions for standard Earth? Oh, here we go.
Underground, like in an ant colony kind of style?
Second here. Ant colony, an underground ant colony, or an underground or an underwater. Okay. Do we have anyone voting for the surface world? Hold on. Okay.
Containment zone.
Ooh, that's got lots of possibilities, especially if we go with biology for the kind of tech. Yep, disease, rats, mutations, whatever you want. Okay. All right, here. You know what? Actually, yes, if you would do the mic, that would be better. I can't write and talk at the same time, unfortunately.
Flying cities.
Are we back? Okay, now we've got both. Hold on a second here. See it flying?
I'm always a fan of not necessarily the cities floating, but you can't be on the surface anymore. You need to be high up, so cities are built to be higher floating.
Okay. Ether. Sure, we'll call it that. And then we had ants. Ant farm. Ant underground. And we have underwater. And you can tell I'm a compulsive writer because I'm like, no, I must get the capitalization correct every single time. All right, we had, and then a contained, a quarantine zone maybe, or a contained zone. We'll just say contained zone, yeah. Contained zone. Okay, any other suggestions? Yes. There we go, we got the mic going.
Wasteland.
Okay. Heading towards the post-apocalyptic. Not usually the vibe so much for Cyberpunk because you generally have a well-established, powerful group. We'll put it on the list. Wasteland. Don't move. Okay. All right. Okay. So who's in favor of cities in the sky? Oh, that's some pretty good. Underwater? Okay. Contained zone? Oh, that sounded fun. Wasteland? Okay. So I saw the most votes for City in the Sky and Underwater. And the nice thing to remember here is when you have a whole world to play with, everybody doesn't live in the same place. So let's say that we have some people who live underwater and some people who live in the sky, which implies the surface is hostile and two different groups went two different ways, which may or may not be relevant to our Wait, was it underwater or underground? It was underwater. Okay, I was right there. Okay. Oh, underground? Nope, okay. Sorry, I jumped the gun on that one. All right, so we have underwater and we have in the sky for our environment. It's a good start. The next question is, so if you're looking at Cyberpunk, some of the things you want to see are what kind of people are there? So we'll just start a new people, question mark? So what different types of people are there going to be in this world? One of the basics that we often see is regular humans. Sure, why not? Maybe we've got some cyborgs. Any other suggestions? Yep.
What about those that have mutated to like where they can deal with lesser oxygen if they're in the high city, or those that maybe have
Okay.
gills if they're underwater?
Advantageous mutations.
Would clones be considered cyberpunk material?
Oh, absolutely. Have you seen Altered Carbon? Oh, you should. If you have Netflix, it's so good. Anyways.
That's also going to be a movie on conflicts this weekend as well.
Oh, great. And also, they're based on very excellent books.
What about genetically enhanced humans?
Okay. So we can say, okay, so advantageously enhanced. Gene engineered. We're just going to go gene engineered. Yep, there we go. Gene engineered, yeah. Other suggestions? Androids is a good one. That's the classic one in Blade Runner. So for those who are not entirely sure about the difference between cyborgs and androids, so androids are robots that think like humans, and cyborgs are humans with extra robot parts, basically. Which there are a lot of cyborgs walking around today. I'm one of them because I have pins holding my knees together that are made out of metal, if you take it to the extreme of the definition, in terms of anybody with any tech in them is considered a cyborg, which again is a good question. Are they? Are they not? How do people classify that? Because it's a lot of shifting lines in where they draw that. Yep.
I'd also, since we threw advantageous mutations in there, what about disadvantageous?
Okay, well, we can just add / disadvantageous, because yes, although it is lovely to believe that evolution always provides advantages, there are always disadvantages too. We'll just say mutations are plus and minus mutations for advantageous and disadvantageous. Okay, so I don't know. I haven't ever played it. Magic is usually not considered to be part of cyberpunk because it's supposed a lot of the point of cyberpunk is that it is an actual possible future that we may be heading towards. Although I'm going to say there's certainly a lot of science fiction fantasy that you could put it in.
What about like in Avengers, Rocket, an intelligent creature? Where would that go under? Is that cyberpunk at all or something else?
I haven't seen it, so that would be a question for the cyberpunk panel that's happening later, I think. Oh yeah, animals given human stuff, absolutely. Oh, Rocket, yes. I was Rocket, blah, yes. I will absolutely say uplifted animals, to borrow from David Brin's terminology. Well, we can certainly add it onto the list, because we're not judging the same way the society judges. We're just classifying people. I would count AI as people. It also counts as tech, of course. So it gets to be both. So then we go on to who has the power? And that is a really critical question in cyberpunk because it is all about the punk part of cyberpunk, and to know that you have to have the power. So who has the power? We could have corporations, government, wealthy families. Any other suggestions? AI having the power. True. I hadn't even thought of that one. Cool, go on. Anyone else? Okay.
Just
Government-
because I think it was fun, we can go with the uplifted animals.
Having the power. Huh. Imagining how that might happen is, yeah. Uplifted animals having the power. All right. So you'll notice I'm not ruling out any of these types of people down here because, again, we're not dealing with only one type, and which emphasis we choose to put on which types kind of depends on how the plot that we come up with goes in terms of what's going to work best. So, all right, but who has the power? Probably not all of these things. So, who has the power? Corporations? Hands up. Yeah? Government? Wealthy families? Oh, okay. AI? Aha, okay. Uplifted animals? Aw. Okay, so we're going to say the AI has the power in this situation. So then, who has rights? Artificial intelligences obviously do if they have the power. Do humans have rights? Do some humans have rights? If we have humans, we get to look under here and we need to go back to our categories of people and say, who has rights? How does this count? If an AI is in charge, do they think cyborgs are better than regular humans? Or worse? Are they an abomination? Are they a threat? How about androids? Androids are AI, but are they degrading themselves by looking like humans and acting like humans? Are they less pure? Are they second-class citizens? So, are they spies? I mean, they could be. So, who here has rights? Let's start with who has the highest level of rights, citizenship, whatever that means in this context. Humans? Do humans have citizenship?
I would say wealthy humans.
Okay, so you'd say wealthy humans have citizenship. Okay. Okay, so who thinks wealthy humans have citizenship? Yeah, well, a few, okay. How about regular humans? Oh, nobody, okay. If you don't have money, sorry, sucks to be human. So wealthy humans have citizenship. It goes fast. It goes really fast. So wealthy humans have citizenship. How about cyborgs? Do they have citizenship? Nope. Okay, so they get put in the low life category, cyborgs. How about androids? Do they have citizenship? Yeah? Okay. Yeah, I'm taking consensus at this point, I think, so for this one. How about, let's see, what other categories of people did we have? How about mutations? Human mutations. Do they have citizenship? Well, okay, so you think they count as human for the purposes of wealthy humans? Yeah? Agreed? But until then, mutations, if poor. Poor mutations. How about clones? If they're cloned humans, I think the same applies as humans, right? How about gene engineered people? Or maybe the AI chooses what gene engineering is done. You know? Well, if they're cattle, they wouldn't have rights. So, okay, let's do a poll. Gene engineered humans, rights or low life? Oh, that's really a tie.
Can we split them where if they're the wealthy humans who got to choose their mutations, their citizens and rights, but if the AI said, hey, I need more miners, and therefore now you don't need oxygen to breathe.
It's true. Technology does bite both ways usually. All right, sure.
Or maybe like the wealthy humans gene engineer their children to make them like better humans for future generations.
Okay. And so android labor class engineering, let's say, or not android, engineered labor humans versus engineered uber humans, or no, let's not say, I'm not going to get into that. engineered improved humans, we can say.
Could the wealthy humans be considered like pets of the AI, or would they actually be ruling and, administering over, governing?
I'm going to guess that depends on who you ask the question to. Hey, there's some questions up here, or comments up here.
I was just curious as to why you chose to skip uber human. Because that is, I mean, the nature of that is so part of cyberpunk right there. Who has that right?
Some do.
What gives that human, what makes this human better than that one? I mean, that is so much of it right there.
Okay, so part of it is because sometimes politics comes into that side, but mostly it's because I don't know how to get an umlaut on a U if I'm typing it into my laptop. It would take a little bit of poking around to make that come up. All right, so let's see. We did mutations. We did clones. Did we do clones? Oh, they fall under humans categories, I think there. And androids, uplifted animals. Or, yep.
I just had an idea for who has the power. What if there was a creator of the AI, and the creator was using the AI to control all the people, but really he was ruling behind the face of the AI?
Puppet master. Okay. So how about the uplifted animals? Do we think they have puppet master? No, puppet master. Do we think uplifted animals are treated basically the same as humans in terms of if they are wealthy? No. So they're the pets of the pets, or they're just low life? What's their role? Okay, so uplifted animals. One, raise your hands if you think they still exist. Okay, good, we're still keeping them. Raise your hand if you think they have rights, similar to wealthy humans. Raise your hand if you think they are one of the low life categories. Oh, poor downtrodden. So, uplifted animals. Well, I mean, it goes along with engineered humans. Uplifted animals, engineered humans working side by side. Ooh. Yep, and that's not necessarily G-rated either. Yeah, Cyberpunk isn't necessarily G-rated either. But we don't need to go there right now. And AI, we've established, is the best people who is mostly in power unless there's possibly a puppet master behind them, which is a good start. And so then the question is, if these are the low-life people, where are the outcasts and the rebels? Where's the unseen, the people who are working against the system? Any suggestions? Is there a rebellion, or is everybody just like grinding away in their place? Is there a rebellion of some kind? Outcasts? Cyborgs. That's a good choice, because they don't really have rebellion. They don't really have the same advantages as some of the other types. So actually, I'm going to do this and say outcast rebellion. And then okay, we can do that.
I could also see the outcast rebellion being the pure humans who have. Sorry. I could also see the outcast rebellion being the pure humans, those who have chosen no advantageous mutations. No, they are.
And some of them could be in power, possibly.
Right, but they're the ones that, in this world where AI is all, the ones who have either been denied any of that, or the ones who have chosen to stay away from it, being the ones who are really driving that rebellion.
Okay, and they would fall into both categories too. So, say basic human, sure. I'll call them basic human.
They really like pumpkin spice latte.
Pumpkin spice latte humans. There we go. Pumpkin spice latte humans. Sure. And they also have rights if they're wealthy. Wealthy pumpkin spice latte humans, they can buy lots of pumpkin spice lattes. They totally can, because those things are expensive. All right. I am very amused. All right, so we got that. Now we bring in the noir element of most cyberpunk stories. They are often based around a crime of some sort. For example, whether it's property theft, murder, a bounty out on somebody who ran away when they shouldn't have. So let's see, what do we have here? I've got murder most foul and a bounty. Other suggestions for a crime. Remember, it doesn't have to be a crime now, but it would be considered a crime in that time. There's a very excited idea here.
What if there was someone trying to like hack the AI and start controlling the government by using the AI?
Hackers. All right. Other types of crime? Does everybody just love, oh no, here we go. I was like, does everyone just love hackers so much? No.
Someone who refuses to be engineered, who refuses to become a cyborg. They were chosen by AI that you were supposed to be engineered. You were supposed to be part of the labor class.
Refusers. Okay, well, let me make that clarify. Refusers of an
AI directive.
Well, I mean, maybe they're on the run. I mean, that could be the crime, is that they refused, and then things happen from there. Okay, any other suggestions for crimes that somebody would be needing to solve or catch or find? No? Okay, all right, let's start here. Murder most foul. Bounty. Okay, that's one, the bounty. That's a traditional one. That's what the original Blade Runner was basically. Hackers. Okay. Oh, okay. Here we go. Somebody who's refused enhancement. Okay. Looks like we had a fairly even split between bounty and hackers, I believe. So we can put that together. There is a bounty on the hackers. Oh boy. I mean, there's also a long list here of other types, but I think we've got that figured out. So now, high tech. We've established, we have mutations, we have bioengineering, we have cybernetics, we have animal, we have hacking, we have computers, so we'll just say hacking here. Basically, we've got all of the skills. So this is, if you are, oh, we are at 3 o'clock, so we're halfway through. Cool. We still have time. Excellent. So anytime, if you're creating a story, whether it's for a movie or for a book or for a game, you need to consider who has either magic or tech in science fiction and fantasy. You're either looking at distribution of tech or distribution of magic. And so the things to consider there are what types are available, which we've got here for the high-tech part. You want to consider what are the limits on it in terms of who's allowed to have how much, when does it stop working. You want to consider the costs. What does it cost to do it? And that's not necessarily money, but it can be money. Maybe that's why the wealthy families are powerful, is because they have the money to spend on, I don't know, being able to communicate with the AI, which is the only way you can actually get it on your side. Who knows? And the sources, where does it come from? Who distributes it? How do you get it? Do you have the option to get bioengineering if you live in a slum, unless you take the AI's deal? So we need to consider that in terms of, so how do you think people get this technology? We've covered in terms of, put another tab here, okay. So we've covered that the AI does draft, yes, that's a good way to put it. Drafting engineering. I think the rich families can do it with money. We've decided that. Moneyed, or wealthy, wealth. We'll just leave it at wealth. That pretty much covers everything for the engineering. Other ways that people might get access. Yes. Yep, absolutely.
Black market.
Black market.
Hacking.
Hacking. It has its downsides. Okay. So I think we've got these here for this. Okay. So to figure this out, and there's a lot of pieces moving around here. So we've got, as you can you see the lines? Oh yeah, those lines do show up pretty well there. Good. So you've got the Outcast Rebellion is made up of cyborgs and uplifted animals over here. There's a bounty on some hackers. So what is the hackers' goal? What were they trying to do? Are they trying to kill the AI? Are they trying to communicate with the AI? Are they just trying to get rich and elevate themselves out of the poor class? Ideas. What are the hackers doing?
Trying to gain control of the government by controlling the AI.
Okay, so they're trying to seize power. Okay, any other suggestions? Okay.
I would say going with the seize power idea, maybe hacking into the AI's draft program and getting the people they want, specific cybernetics, getting that sent out as if by official channels.
Okay. Getting enhancements.
Or like maybe the hackers are
Later.
part of the Outcast Rebellion and are trying to help the rebellion by hacking the AI.
Do we think cyborgs are good hackers? I mean, they're just regular people, so I guess some would be good, some would be bad. Or maybe animals are good hackers because they process information differently once they're uplifted. Yeah? Okay. So the hound dog hacker. Yeah. Because he can sniff out the little security blips. Okay, I've got my lines are kind of crossing here. But there we go. So, okay, so we've got that. So that is the crime that's going on, and they're hacking it. Okay, so who thinks they're hacking to gain total power? Okay. Hacking to get money? Hacking to get enhancements distributed in a different way? Okay. So we've got both total power and getting enhancements. I am going to, by fiat, say we're doing getting enhancements because I think having it be more specific also gives us more gray area in terms of they could be the good guys, they could be the bad guys. Total power, who knows? And although noir is often represented as dark and shiny, it's all about the gray. It's all about the gray areas in terms of where you find that. So in fact, actually, maybe let's have most of them trying to get enhancements and one of them trying to get total power. Because then you have a plot point. And that plot point is way down there, okay? And that plot point is a internal struggle. Internal struggle within the group. Possible betrayal. Lots of motives there for either taking out the other members or betraying them or taking over the group. And I'm not going to worry too much about the accent on data because, again, special characters, not the easiest thing to type in a quick time. So let's bring this puppy back up here so we can see it better. Flying, okay. We're going to go like that. So now you can see that that is also connected there. Does that show up okay?
What program
it's
are
showing
you
up okay.
using?
This is called MindMeister. If you look in the address bar at the top, and they allow you to have a couple of mind maps free, and then you have to have a paid subscription if you have more than that. But it's perfect for something like this. And so I was like, you can do this. And it also has a phone app that allows you to, which was initially how I was going to do this until I realized I could not actually write on my phone and hold a microphone at the same time unless I got myself a cybernetic limb. Hi, cybernetic limb. because it allows you to collaborate so that multiple people are adding brainstorming ideas at the same time. It's designed for business use, but it works really well for figuring out story plot like this, at least the way that I build my stories. Everyone does it differently. This is one of the ways. Okay, we did that, so we've got that. All right, so now we need to consider who is our main character. Because our main character is typically the person trying to solve the mystery, trying to catch the bounty, trying to stop the hackers. Often they're a very cynical person. They don't have to, and when I say person, I want you to remember, I might use, it could be a man, it could be a woman, it could be an octopus, apparently, since now we have uplifted animals. It could be an android or an AI or like a minor AI. But it is somebody who is in the middle. You want that as a hacker? Yeah? Sure. You know, I have seen the videos of octopuses climbing out of their tanks, going across the floor, getting into the fish tank, eating all the fish, climbing back out, and going, yeah, I'd trust that. I'll believe that. He wants all the fish. He's not satisfied with just a few. Okay.
This one octopus is as good as 4 hackers because, he's got like 8 limbs to, be able to hack with.
And if his brain is also equally enhanced, which, some people think, then he could do 8 things at the same time mentally in the uplifting. Because it's not about the typing anymore. We'll assume that we've got at least that much technology going. Stop trying to do that. I don't want to do that. Stop it. It is. It was trying to add extra limbs to itself. It really is an octopus. It's true. It's true. So, for our main character, usually we want them to be somebody who is not ultimately in the low life. They are either hired by, as in the case of Blade Runner and Altered Carbon, they're hired by somebody who's the top echelon to figure out what this is, or they are somebody who sees it to their own advantage at first to solve it and to catch the person. So, Mike.
Should have one of the pumpkin spice latte humans be the main character.
Do we want our detective to be a pumpkin spice latte human?
I vote no.
No? Okay, there's some voting against that. Sorry.
Their brain is powered by pumpkin spice lattes. The more they drink, the smarter they get. This is going to be the title of the story, isn't it? Pumpkin Spice Latte Humans and the Revolution Against the Puppet Master AI by the Uplifted Octopus. Yeah. That is where it's going. This is kind of where we're heading. All right. Okay, so what do we want to have for the main character? And I'm going to try and list off options for somebody who's kind of in that uneasy middle ground. You want a character that's either in a position where they could rise, possibly, or in a position where they could slip and slide into the low life. Somebody who's cynical, who doesn't trust a lot of people, who thinks that they have seen it and know what's going on, but don't, and may have some kind of realization that there's a character arc. There is usually a character arc in Cyberpunk where the main character has a critical revelation that changes their comfort with their place in society or the way they look at things. So
here's an idea, right? So how about this? He or she, I guess, is a child of one of the wealthy families, right? And then he's like, you know what? I'm going to catch these hackers because they hacked whatever. And so then he does that, and then he realizes that life isn't that good for most of their people. And so then he tries to, he's disillusioned. And he's like, oh wow, stuff actually kind of sucks. And I'm just
that's a lot more of a classic science fiction arc because he'd be disillusioned, and it's not as much. Usually, the main character doesn't start from a position of privilege, simply because it's. Anyways, yes. Okay, what's your idea then?
My idea would be going for someone who, either altered human or somewhere in that android cyborg, we can go anywhere with it, who works in one of the locations where the people who get drafted are
Okay.
set to go to get their upgrades, And maybe they're noticing what's going on with the hackers more so before maybe even the
Was
AI
that octopus
does.
hands? I'm not sure what was going on there.
Because then we're doing with
Okay,
what-
so we've got some ideas here. We've got, okay, so we'll call them our detective. And I say them because, again, male, female, non-human, non-binary, all of that is fair game, even though the classics are usually a male human. That, you know, that's a while ago now, and
I have another idea.
people are
for
more flexible. Oh, did it get
I've-
turned off?
I have another idea for a detective. What if it's a human that has who is a little bit like dipping into the cyborg,
Mm-hmm.
like not
Right.
100% there.
Okay, so slightly cyborg, maybe even still hiding it.
Yeah.
But using it to get some advantages. What did we think about cyborg folks for advantages? Oh, they're disadvantaged, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So, concealed cyborg? Concealed cyborg, who is, if he's a concealed cyborg, was he pumpkin spice? Was he wealthy? Was he just not drafted yet? Could be. These things go together.
I really like the idea of like a cyborg that was like once wealthy, but then something happened to them that made them like lose everything and become a cyborg to move to like the lower classes. But then
okay.
the puppet master behind the AI says like, here's an opportunity for you to get everything back. I can restore you to your position of wealth if you catch this hacker for me.
Fallen wealthy, now cyborg. Okay.
Yeah. If you combine the wealthy child, like fallen cyborg, with what I was saying, but you know, if he just got found out, like somewhere.
Okay, so you have a recently fallen, probably fallen because they were a concealed cyborg. Okay, recently fallen, concealed cyborg. Maybe they're working in a draft center. No, you don't need to do it all, but we could do it all. All right, yes.
Cyborg Spice, and she's in a band.
Oh boy. Okay, so we've got Cyborg Spice. Which, note, could have been wealthy and then fallen when she became a cyborg and was kicked out of her family because she was no longer Spice, but she stuck with the name.
I think that just became a side character and just for background.
All right, so this is plenty of options. So for our detective, shall we say a wealthy child in a place of privilege? Okay. Worker in a draft center? Okay. That's pretty interesting. Concealed cyborg? Okay. Fallen wealthy who's now a cyborg? Okay. You can vote more than once, yeah. Cyborg Spice? Really? Okay. All right. I was a little, we might be going to the music place there for a minute. All right. So we have a tie between concealed cyborg and fallen wealthy who is now a cyborg, which is kind of the same, well, or they wouldn't be concealed anymore. I like concealed cyborg, so I'm going to throw my vote towards concealed cyborg because I think that has a lot of possibilities, and they would have been, if not top tier wealthy, at least they would have been better off than they are now. Or, well, no. At least they would be better off than they will be if their cyborg secret comes out. Their cyborg secret. Yeah, there's a lot of room for plotting around here. So here's the question. The person who hires them, which presumably is either the AI or the AI, okay, so we didn't do a full vote on that one. So who has the power? Is it a puppet master behind the AI? Raise your hand. Or is it the AI itself? For reals. Okay, AI itself wins. Okay, so the AI itself. Okay, so who is hiring him? Is it the AI itself, or is it somebody from the so-called upper class? Okay, is it the AI hiring him? Or her? Them? Okay, is it the upper class hiring them? Okay, there's lots of pondering going on and half-raised hands. Or are there ideas, other ideas for who is hiring them?
I like to combine the two ideas, maybe just like a wealthy upper class person hired by the AI.
Ah, so he's the hire of a hire, basically. Okay, sure, that works. We get them both. So we say the AI who has the power. We can just delete this whole node now. We're done with you. Farewell. So the AI who has the power hires somebody in this category. Who do they hire? Do they hire a wealthy person? That doesn't seem very likely. Do they hire another type of, we've got it, artificial nodes. Do they hire an android? Yes. Which, oh, you're voting for that. You're voting, not asking. Okay. Do they hire an engineered, improved human that engineered themselves? Or a wealthy pumpkin spice latte human? Okay, so we had votes for the AI communicates to an android, and the android, in turn, goes and hires where is he hiding? Or she? They. Our concealed cyborg. I'm going to say she just because I want to stick with the thing, and maybe she has a side project with a band or something. Yeah, these things happen. Hey, stay. Arrow, stay. There, thank you. Arrow did not want to stay. It is trying to be that octopus, that darned octopus. Okay, so is our idea chart diagram. So really quickly now, because we've got about 10 minutes left, so we've got to wrap this idea up quick to get it put together. I'm going to flip away from the octopus chart for just a minute and go to, so we've got most of the elements of story in place. Goal and spine are going to be in contradiction probably for that, but we need to find ourselves a plot. So there are lots of different plot structures. We don't have time to go into all of them and vote on them. So considering a very basic plot structure, which is something happens, our character gets, in this case, because it's a mystery, the place where things start happening is usually when our character gets hired, because an android walks into their office and sits on their desk and says, I want to hire you to find some hackers. And I have heard that you might have some special insights into this for some reason. So then we have rising action, falls, the turning point, the falling action, the aftermath, the resolution, the denouement, and all that fun stuff. So going back to our story. They're hired. Woohoo! How on earth is a concealed cyborg going to find some hackers? Are we going to look at who's in the rebellion? How will they contact them? How did they get these cyborg implants in the first place, especially if they're doing them like under the table? Is it black market? Is it a certain, black market implies a certain public access, perhaps? No? Or maybe it's a specialist, or, okay, so black market? Okay, we will say that our wonderful concealed cyborg got their implants through, dun-dun-dun-dun, the black market. And as we all know, the black market is an excellent place to find somebody who will rat out what you're looking for. So, cyborg goes to the black market, has access because that's how they got their implants. and comes here to find a way to locate the hackers. So how does he locate the hackers? We've got a few, hey, stop highlighting everything. Okay. We have a few options. We've got betrayal from within. We've got betrayal from without, as in a girlfriend or a landlord or any number of other options. Betrayal from without. We've got, we have a pop-up ad? Oh, okay. They're betrayed by a pop-up ad. Not sure how that would work. We have, let's say, suppliers. Presumably they would have some special needs, technology needs of some kind. So we've got suppliers. Any other considerations? How do they find these hackers using the black market? How does she find these hackers using the black market?
Might be a little much, but what if the octopus was formerly working with the rebellion, but then when he started getting like power greedy, he left because his ideas conflicted with that of the rebellion. And in the black market, the detective person meets someone who used to work with that octopus and knows some things about them, just not their current location.
Okay, so guy who knows a guy. Guy who knows a guy. It's like, you won't believe this, but I know this octopus who could do the thing you're looking for.
Or just
Nasty character.
Or just off of the previous suggestion, same octopus, left the organization, still has his motives, and is willing to sell his old organization to promote himself.
I thought the octopus was with the hackers and trying to gain total power.
Yes, but
Now he's
selling
without
the
hackers?
rest of them will give him total power.
Okay, so he's trying to sell them out so that he's the only one on the loose who knows the key, whatever it is, to hacking, possibly. Because he knows that they're immediately going to be drafted into a very brainless occupation that requires, like, separating the two hemispheres of their brain or something. Which, by the way, has really interesting and weird effects on the human brain and behavior after you do that. It's so cool. Anyways, not that I'm planning on doing brain surgery anytime soon or anything. Okay. So let's see. That was octopus sells out. Okay, so we'll just say betrayal. Okay. All right, so let's vote for this. Okay. Betrayal within? From within? Okay. Betrayal from somebody outside the group? A pop-up ad? Phew, because that was going to be some more figuring out to figure out how that one worked. The supplier. Oh, yeah, so we'd like some suppliers. Guy who knows a guy? Okay, a couple folks. So I think we want betrayal from within. And I think the supplier would be a good in-between guy who knows a guy. So we'll say connecting the supplier to betrayal from within by uplifted octopus as part of his attempt to gain power. Okay, so our heroine, the sneaky cybernetic person, arrests the hackers. Sneaky cybernetic, did I say hidden? Concealed. I mean, sneaky works too. Wow, look at this. This is just coming together in a very strange spiderwebby way. So she finds the location of the hackers and then realizes that they are in fact part of the group. So now we have to consider the classic endings of cyberpunk stories. There is usually not a clear victory. If there's a victory, it is a gray one. If there's a victory, often it means that somebody gets what they want, but over the course has learned something to make that victory taste like ashes. Or they don't get what they want, but they've learned something really valuable. So how is this going to end? How is this going to play out, and what's that going to do to our heroine? Suggestions? Okay, let's start with this. Okay, so do we want her to actually arrest and bring in the hackers? Raise your hands if she actually arrests them. Okay, that's pretty much unanimous that yes, she is going to arrest those hackers. How about the octopus? Does the octopus go free? Does the octopus get arrested? Does the octopus gain power? Gain power? Goes free. Goes free without power? The octopus goes free without power.
I vote he gains power, but he gains power by becoming part of the AI.
Ooh, for the octopus? That's a pretty grim ending for the octopus. Also, wiggly. Gains power by ending up joined to the AI. All right. And so what is the ending for, we've got 3 minutes left here. So that's the end for the octopus. And in this time, our concealed cyborg has revealed herself in order to gain access to the octopus. And now the AI knows that she is a concealed cyborg. So on the one hand, she's getting paid for whatever. On the other hand, her status is now down to the lowest of the low. Yeah? So she wins, but she loses? Yes. Okay, so you think that the...
She can remain the concealed cyborg, but the AI knows the cyborg part. So while she has not fallen, she is now more or less owned by the AI.
Ah, the secret end now owns her soul. Or...
maybe the AI takes control of the octopus who has hacking skills, and then the AI is able to use those skills to hack into the cyborg parts of the detective maybe, and then somehow like control those parts and create like another personality.
Okay. Demonic AI possession. All right. These are some really good options for giving our character an interesting ending that is not going to be the best one. So now we consider what we are trying to say in this story. And I'm going to say often the themes tend to be brought out more on revision. Oh, we have 1 minute left. So short version, the AI knows her secret and owns her soul. Votes. Okay. Oh, okay. She's discovered and loses status in the face of the world. Okay. Demonic AI possession. Which is not mutually exclusive with the first one, but okay. We'll go with the AI knows the secret and owns her soul, which is also, you see, nice job, folks. That's very thematically resonant with the whole idea of the draft for adding cyborg parts, who's really in power, who owns who, and where is the power. So I think y'all came up with something pretty darn good. Thank you, phone, for providing a dramatic noise to accentuate that. I don't know if you heard that. It just did its little shake that doesn't get a message because apparently I forgot to put it on silent. Hey, go away. It's not letting me. I take offense. I do too get to choose if I delete you. Go away. Ha, thank you. And there's our story, folks. Thank you all. This was fun. And let's see. Ta-da! Oh, can we fit it all on a screen? Well, I don't know if you can. Nope, can't read it all, but that is the story. That is the shape of the story. And I am done. I better head out since our time is up. But
Is there a way we can like save this, or you could email it to me or anything like that? I don't know if
I can print screen different parts. You want to do it to go along with the video or something? Yeah, we can work on that.
So we can this is what we came up with, and we really spent a lot of time on an octopus.
We did.
Who is the best villain ever?
Yes, the villainous uplifted octopus. What is it? Why is there never any octopus good guys? There really aren't, though. You think about it, they always get a bad rap.
Oh, they're awesome.
But again, if I lived near the ocean, I saw one coming out of the water at me, I'd be like, Nope, 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 don't trust you. Getting out of here now. So it is their nature. All right.